All right, welcome. Thank you for joining, for watching. If you're not participating in this live, we have another weekly analysis. We have a couple pairs we're going to be going over. Pretty much the same every week. This week, I feel like it's going to be special. I feel like there's going to be a lot of movement this week. And yeah, we should be able to collect a lot of pips. Last week, there was some news that caused absolute haywire price action in the market, and I think that helped set up for what's to come this week and the coming weeks. So let's just get right into it. We're going to start with Bitcoin and we'll work our way up this watch list here. So Bitcoin, this is the daily time frame, and what I've been watching Bitcoin, and we have been looking for a short opportunity down to like 12,000. And in this area right here, we were taking a lot of shorts, and we also switched to a little buy. And after that, I've kind of been sitting out and just watching because I was expecting, or I wanted to see the reaction from this this level right here. As we can see, when price first pulled into this level, it dropped, it came back and rejected 1, 2, 3 beautiful times, and then it came back down, and now we pulled up again and immediately rejected, and we actually pushed up again, rejected again, and then we tapped just higher than that wick. So this right here just shows, to me, I see this as massive accumulation of orders. So before I get into what I'm about to break down as a huge short, I first want to note that it is possible price pulls back up to these levels here when it was ranging in this area around 28 to 30,000. It's very possible that happens, and if that happens, I suspect that price is going to pull below this daily low right here and not really go lower, that much lower than that. So I think if price is going to go bullish, we are going to see a drop down into around 23,000, and from there it would go bullish. However, I just feel like we do have the chance to see this actually finally start to move down towards 12,000. And if that's the case, then we're not going to be looking to take long entries. We're just going to be looking to take a short entry, multiple short entries. So with that in mind, let's take a look at the lower time frames. So we can see, look at this daily high right here. This is actually where we shorted, and we shorted along this area. Price dipped down here, exploded up, and it's been failing to break up, not one, not twice, but 3 times. And actually, I was expecting this high to be broken, and we already placed a short pretty much right on that black line, actually, right here. And I'm deleting this for now. So now what I'm seeing is prices in this range right here. And what I believe, again, if price is going to go bullish and go to like 28,000, I think we're going to come under this low right here and to kind of fill in this gap, because that to me is a lot of imbalance and liquidity right in here. So it makes sense to me, if we're going to go to 28,000, first it's going to pull down into this area right here, or even this area, but either way it's going to pull down at least 100 pips. Now on the flip side of that, which this is the side I'm more betting on because I've been waiting for this for a long time, like weeks, we break through this and it just smashes right through. And if that's the case, then I'm definitely going to be looking to take further shorts with the target at 12,700. So that's kind of the long-term analysis, right? Short from this area down to 12,000. Now, if we get into what's happening right now and what is next, what I'm looking for is the new daily candle to push up above this high right here, possibly even push back to this point right here, which is the original entry. So simple terms, I want to see price pull into kind of this range right here and reject and push away from it, because that next daily candle would it needs a wick on the top side of it, right? And in my opinion, if this is going to go down from here, whether we're only shorting till this range, or if it's going to go all the way to 12k, no matter what, if we're shorting, it makes sense to see price pull up and make a wick on the top of the new daily candle, and it would not break this high. Okay, so the stop losses are going to be above this high, because we're predicting that price is going to pull down here, and if that's going to happen, it's not going to wick out this high. It's already done it 3 times. It doesn't need to do it again. But what it very well could do, and what I'm hoping happens, is we see a huge push up into, or not a huge push, that's actually only 30 pips, but a push up into this area right here, and from there we can take additional short, and then we'll see what happens. We'll ride this wave down here, we'll close them out, we'll go risk free on the position, and then we'll just watch and wait and see, do we continue to break new lows, or does it turn around and stop out the rest of the position with no loss at the entry? So it's kind of enter this because we know it's going to happen. Even if the market is going to go long to 30k, we know it's going to drop down first, and from there we'll wait and see what happens. And honestly, I mean, there's not much more to it than that. I know I say this all the time, I don't want to over complicate things that don't need over complicating, and this is one of those things where it's pretty straightforward and pretty simple. As you can see, you see how these daily candles are, how right before it pushes down it makes that one last wick up. That's what I'm expecting on this candle, this next candle. I'm expecting a nice wick up to this realm, and we'll place probably in one more entry. And yeah, I mean, the target is obviously 12.7 thousand, but once we get into this realm around 22 to 23,000, we can definitely consider closing part of the trade, because that would be like 160 pips, and we would go risk free. So that would just be, you know, the rest of that trade is just what's the word I'm looking for? I don't even know the word I'm looking for. But then we can just wait and see if, in my opinion, if price smashes through this low right here, and I'm not talking about comes through here and closes with a wick and whatnot. I'm talking about if price absolutely breaks through this and closes way down here as a huge engulfing bearish candle, then there's not a single doubt in my mind that this is going to go to 12,000, and that we're just going to be looking for shorts. Similar to these candles. See how that's a huge bearish candle? This one was kind of small. This one was a huge bearish candle. So if we get that blowing through this level, I don't care where the open is, right? I don't care if it opened right here or if it opened up here or wherever with that daily candle open. I'm not saying tomorrow. I'm just saying like this week or this weekend, this next weekend. If price completely smashes through here, then yeah, like I said, without a doubt, this thing is going to 12k. But if we come down here and we stall out and it has a hard time breaking this, then we could be in for a long up to 28,000. So we're going to play that one by ear, but for right now, we're going to focus on this short down into this area. And again, close in some partials there, going risk-free, and then just watching and waiting and seeing what happens. Moving along to gold. Okay, gold presented a very interesting opportunity this coming week. So this is the daily time frame, and I am simply waiting and watching for this thing to just completely explode. And when I say explode, I'm talking about like 600-700 pips to the upside in a matter of a couple days. And there's a chance that could happen this week. There's a chance it doesn't, but there's a chance it does. And just based on how long price has been accumulating for, it's given me the feeling that it could happen very soon and possibly even this week. So we'll go to the 4-hour time frame. I want to point something out right here. This was Wednesday. This was news that happened on Wednesday in the morning for the US dollar. And what happened with that news is every pair that's against the dollar absolutely skyrocketed. Okay, pound dollar, Aussie dollar, the US 30, I mean, all of them, literally every single one skyrocketed. But gold didn't. It tried to, but it immediately got shut back down. And then it actually continued to fall. And that is interesting to me because why did it not skyrocket when everything else did? And it did that because the dollar index tanked, right? Which that ultimately makes the gold market skyrocket. But why did that not happen? And the only logical answer I can come up with is it's accumulating orders. It's delaying that explosiveness into the new week. And that's what we've seen here. So price dipped into these lows right here, popped up, came back, went completely sideways, and it actually closed the day Friday with a pretty good pretty good bullish move up. I mean, almost 200 pips up from the low on Friday. So we see that pressure starting to kick in. And I'm expecting that to pretty much start off the week with that same pressure. I would like to see price pull back down into the low or mid 1790s, which is this zone right here. The reason is because we have this huge explosive move up and we followed that by a pullback right here. Okay, we get this pullback right here. This tells me that price, there's a lot of orders being fulfilled in this region right here because price pulled back and then it pushed off from that area, right? If it pulled back down to like this low at like 1788 and exploded, then this would be at 1788, but it didn't. It happened right here at like 1793. So that is why I'm looking to see price pull back into 1793 area, probably with a wick, and then first target is 1822, second target is 1863. And if we're talking 1790 to 1860, that's 700 pips, which seems crazy, right? 700 pips. But look at this, okay? We get this kind of weird trend upwards, right? And then we explode 770 pips in one day and 12 hours. Now, I'm not trying to say that's what's going to happen here and we're going to explode 700 pips in one day, but I just want to show the possibilities. You know, it's gold moves insanely fast sometimes. I mean, there is so many examples where this thing just goes hundreds and hundreds of pips just nonstop. It just absolutely smashes through every barrier, and I believe that we are going to see that happen soon with gold, possibly this week. And like I said, this whole area right here was accumulation, so it's really this low right here and this high. So this is the range it has to break out of. Once we break out of this, I mean, it's probably just going to explode all the way up without much delay. It's probably just going to push right up there. And so that's, I mean, yeah, that's it. That's pretty much what I'm looking for. I'm open to the possibility of this 1780 round being hit again. As we can see, there is lots of orders here. However, it spent a lot of time here already. All right, it spent a lot of time here. This is, you can see it should have exploded here, pushed right back down, tried to push up, pulled down again, and look, right here, it could have kept going down if it wasn't going to sell. If it needed to fulfill orders down here, it could have kept going. It had absolutely no reason to stop right here unless it started to truly fulfill those buy orders. I mean, look at how perfect of a level. I'm just going to move this for a minute. Look below this line. I mean, all the wicks here, all of the liquidity is being built up. So it just makes sense to me to see this thing not really have to push down that much, just pull back, and because it needs to make a wick on the new daily time frame. So this, I mean, that's a 70 pip wick. Sometimes it doesn't even need a 70 pip wick. If we look at, I mean, yeah, look at this candle right here. See this massive candle? That is a 40 pip wick. This one's probably 70. Yeah, that's 70. Where's another? I mean, look at, let's see, this one's probably 60. Yep. This one is 20. This one doesn't even have a wick. You get the idea. I mean, look at this one. This doesn't have a wick either. But to me, it makes sense for it to pull back down there. If it doesn't, then we'll just wait for the next opportunity. But I'm fairly certain that we will see a wick push down into this area. I almost feel like we're kind of at this stage right here. So if I flip the chart, okay, I know that might be a little strange if you've never seen that before. See this wick? And see this next candle? What is the wick on this candle right here? 73 pips. Okay, so the market opened a new daily, it dropped 70 pips, and then it exploded 400 pips. And then it came right back down about halfway. If you throw the fib on there, it's probably right at the golden fib, which it is. And then it continued to explode. So once price hits 1822 with gold, what I'm probably going to do is close most of the trade, because I think it depends how it gets to 1822. If the market opens and this next candle just pushes up 200 pips right off the bat, then for sure I'm closing most of the trade at 1822, because that's just too quick and the market just opened and it normally needs like a day or two to accumulate. Even after all this, just with it being a new week, it typically still needs it that day or two. And if this thing just opens up right away and pushes all the way to 1822 without hesitation, then I believe that it's probably going to come back down at least to around where the market opened, right around 1800, and from there take more entries. Just let me see this. This is 300 pips. Okay. So that just guided me on where to look, and now I'm seeing this area right here. So we might be pushing into 1830s before it pulls back. But regardless, what I'm looking for here is a push up to 1860, and we're going to take entries down here, or we're going to wait and react and take a different entry that sets up like Monday night or Tuesday morning or something like that. But whatever it decides to do, we're definitely taking longs on this. I mean, the overall swing target is, you know, new all-time highs, which is up in this realm. Are we going to see that right now? Probably not. I wouldn't think we're going to see that right now. I mean, that's going to take like months. I mean, that's probably going to take multiple months. But even looking at this right here, like, you see this? See how the market went kind of sideways and then bullish, right? And then it kind of came back down, and then in 3 days it went 700 pips, right? And then it pulls back a little bit, and then it goes, in another 3 days it goes 600 pips, right? And then it reaches another 400 pips. So I think we're kind of getting into that space now where it's going to explode like hundreds of pips. I mean, we honestly might just push. If we get the momentum, we might just have like 2 or 3 huge days and go straight to 1860, which would be brilliant. I mean, that would be freaking awesome. 1883, that's another clean level. I'm actually going to change this. I'm going to put it right here. This is why I'm putting that there. I don't even care about this one anymore. That doesn't matter. So yeah, we're playing in this realm right here. Like I said, it is possible we come back down to this black line, which is 1783. If we do that, then we just get a better entry. That's it with gold. So let's move on to, we're going to go over some yen pairs. We're going to start on the 4-hour time frame. And this one I'm going to keep a little bit more simple. This wick right here, I want to see price come below that. And pretty much within these two levels, I want to see price come below it, and then we're going to buy into 165, this target up here. Now this buy on the yen, on pound yen, is strictly based off of the yen basket being super weak and dropping. Because I personally believe the pound as an individual is weak. But this market, the pound yen, is more controlled by what the yen is doing. So even if the pound is weak, if the yen is weak, this market will go up. Along with the other yen markets. So yeah, very simple 4-hour. I don't want to just say a whole bunch of nonsense information. I'm looking for this to pull back into mid 161. That's where we're going to take the entry. The target is 165. The swing target is in the 170, 171. We can see this huge, let me paint this. Huge, right? Just stopped. It just stopped all these lows out. Now we've kind of accumulated a little bit, and now we're going to blast off, right? Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense. So that's where we're at. Notice this pattern, by the way. You see what I just painted out? Now we're going to take a look at two other yen pairs. They have the same pattern, except these ones are actually higher up. They're right, they're right about to break out. This is the New Zealand dollar yen, and then this is the Aussie yen, which is very, very similar. Which I'm actually going to go turn this to the week. And I want to see if we are going to make new highs, where we're going to go. I would say 97 and then 100. But 97 for now. It could go sideways. I mean, that was a very bullish candle, but we also could get something along the lines of this, right? Nice wick down. Then we have a couple weeks, right? 2-3 weeks. But look at this. I mean, if we start in this candle, that's 800 pips. And that would be up here. So we're going to go like that. So we're looking at swing trades here for the yen, right? It doesn't matter if we're talking about this yen pair. Yeah, I mean, if we're talking swing trades, then, you know, we're talking about like that. I mean, weeks, right? 2-3 weeks, 4 weeks maybe. So yeah, that's pretty simple. I'm just looking to buy pairs against the yen because I strongly believe the yen is very weak. Fundamentally, it's very weak. And from the technicals as well, of course. Oh, why is my keyboard hot? Okay, so now let's take a look at the pound dollar. And this analysis is going to translate over into the pound CAD and the pound Aussie. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time on the pound CAD or Aussie because, again, it's pretty much the same thing as this. Daily time frame. Oh, what I am looking for is price to pull back into this realm, okay? Right right, hold on. Right in this area right here, I want to see a nice push up in here and follow that by a huge push down. Now this is like 400 pips. It's possible that we go like 800 pips all the way down here over a couple weeks, kind of like this, how we trend downwards. And that's kind of what I'm expecting. Or we're just going to melt off. You know, that could be the case as well. Going into the 4 hour, we can see how that's where the supply is. We knew that on the daily time frame. On the small time frame, if we're expecting a pullback up into 1.22 essentially, that presents a buy, right? And where I'm looking to buy at is lower than this. This is Friday's low right here. If I'm going to buy this, it's going to have to be lower than Friday's low. That's just, do I have an example? Yeah. See this low right here? If we're going to, let's say price is right here, wherever price is. And let's say we figured out that we're going to short off of this level, right? And we're expecting, okay, well that is 120 pips up, right? It's 120 pips higher than where price is at right now. So that could be a buy opportunity. So what we do is we mark this low right here, and then we wait for price to go below that, and then we buy it, and now we buy it up there, and then we short it, and then you could make your first short target this area right here, close partials, comes back up, maybe stops you at an entry, enter a second time right here, and that's when you short it and you get the full move down. So that's kind of what I'm expecting, is a push down into this realm right here. And once we get into this realm, then possibly buy up into 1.22. This whole area right here doesn't have to be specific. It could spike higher. That's totally cool. And then we're gonna short it. Simple as that. Simple as that. Who else is here? Osvaldo's here. Okay, so we got two more pairs, and just like how I showed with the pound dollar, like I said, it does translate to the pound CAD and the pound Aussie. So let's take a look at the pound CAD. 4 hour. This is, I'm expecting it to continue short. This is the move short I want, 156 to 151. However, again, just like the pound dollar, if price is going to pull up here first before it drops, we could possibly long it, because that's 160 pips up. If we know price is going to pull up here and then we know it's going to short, why would we not participate in the pullback and the drop? Because that is, I mean, that's 120 pips on the pound dollar, and now that's 160 pips here. So that's 280 pips just on the pullbacks, right? And then these moves are the big moves. These are the 400 pip moves, right? And you can double that with pound CAD and the pound dollar. And then we're going to take a look at the pound Aussie, and we can add that in as well. But you get the idea, right? It adds up. Even if we're only taking 100 pip trades, or 120 or 150 pip trades, you take 3 of those and they all work, that's 400 pips, 450 pips. So this area right here is where I'm looking for, again, same concept. I want to see this low taken out, and if I look lower than that, I think, okay, where's the buys coming in? The buys are coming in around this level right here. So that's what I'm looking for, is price to pull to this level. Then we can long it into this area, and that is where we will short it again. And pound Aussie, same thing. I'm not as concerned with buying the pound Aussie. I'm more just looking in for the sell. Maybe just going off of the timing of when entering the pound dollar and the pound CAD, look to enter the pound Aussie. But again, I'm more just focused on waiting for the sell on this one and not really focusing on buying that pullback, because there's not, I mean, we have to go, like, I'm zoomed way out here, and there's not like a previous structure, right? So it's kind of like completely free floating. Where is it going to happen? Which is why I'm saying maybe we'll time it with the pound dollar one. So if we're buying the pound dollar and then we look at the pound CAD and then we're buying that, then we can look at this and say, okay, does it look like it's going to buy now? So this one is going to be based off the timing of the other twos if we're going to be buying it. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but I actually called a short swing a couple weeks ago with the target of right here, actually 1.68, and we shorted it right here, guys. We literally shorted it here like 2 weeks ago, but that news kind of chopped it up, and then I was focused on gold and other pairs, so I wasn't looking at it, which I should have been, because it's dropped 600 pips since we originally shorted it right up here. So kind of my fault for that, for not maintaining my focus on this pair. I just moved my focus to other pairs and kind of left this one on the back burner, and missed out on like half this move down. However, it's not done yet, thankfully, so hopefully we're going to be able to catch this second move down. That's it. That is all I have for this week. I hope that was pretty clear. I hope that made sense. I hope we have a good week. We should have a good week. Thank you guys for joining. I'm going to end this